Hey everybody, this is Elisa Stillwell Rogers with Simply Southern Recipes by Rocket City Girls. I'm back. I've been down for a while, had knee surgery, but I'm able to get up and start back to work and hopefully do one more video for y'all. Simple, budget friendly. I normally vamp it up now that the kids have grown up and moved on out, but this is something that I made for them when they were growing up, and it is just so simple, and you can basically feed you and your youngins for almost 4 days on it. 5 if you're lucky. But let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to dice up the bell pepper and the onion, and then I'll show you what to do after that. I have diced up 2 bell peppers and 1 large onion. I have there a pound of ground beef, just regular ground beef. You don't have to buy chuck or anything like that unless you want to. So I'm going to put these in a pot. So here we go. Open this up. Just dump it in. No seasonings or anything until the meat's completely cooked. Then you drain the grease. My phone's going off, sorry. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Wash my hands. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to add the peppers. And the onions. Put this on the stove, cook on medium until the onions have become completely translucent. And once that happens, we drain the grease, and then I'll show you what else to do after that. Our meat is done, and I have drained a lot of the grease off. Now it's time to season it up and get it ready to sit on the stove for a few hours to combine together, get those flavors going that you want in a lasagna. First, I start off, and believe it or not, a little Worcestershire, because I particularly don't care for a hamburger taste very much. You know, I like it seasoned up. The Worcestershire takes that kind of gamey flavor out of it without adding too much to take away from your Italian seasonings that you're going to put in this. So I'll stir that up a little bit like that. Now, large can of petite diced tomatoes or crushed tomatoes. I don't have a large can, but I do have a quart jar that I put up last year of crushed tomatoes. There we go. A nice good pop, so we know it's good. Smells delicious. So we add this. Okay. Stir this up. Okay. Now, I have here a 12-ounce can of tomato paste. You want to thicken this up. I don't like runny lasagna, and this is the best way of going about it. Tomato paste will bring all those liquids together and unify them, and it's easier to spread. You don't want it just running all over your lasagna noodles, but you can run a good lasagna quickly when it gets runny. It's not a very pretty presentation either. So I'm putting this whole jar or can into this pot. Okay, so there's that whole can. Now, you don't want it being as thick as the tomato paste, so what I normally do is run some warm water and put it in this can and pour it over here and start cooking it down. You can figure out just if you need a little bit of water. You don't want it like cake frosting, but you want it spreadable, you know. You just really don't want it liquidy. So let me get a can of some warm water, add it to this, and then we'll start with the seasonings. There we go. Awesome. So, now, as always, salt to taste, because everybody likes it differently. I never say, oh, 2 teaspoons of salt, or, you know, salt to taste. It's a preference thing. Now, I start off with some garlic powder. Okay. I use 2 heaping teaspoons of garlic. That's your most important component in this lasagna, is the garlic. That is what's going to make or break you. Now, Italian seasoning. Uh-oh. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 4 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. One, 2 teaspoons of onion powder. 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now, for the best yumminess, this is going to bring it all together. Make it perfect. Balsamic vinegar. Use a good balsamic vinegar. I use this. Excellent. A whole tablespoon goes in that. It sweetens it just a little bit so you don't add sugar. Some people put sugar, me not so much. I'm a full believer in the balsamic vinegar. It will sweeten and add a depth of flavor to your sauce, and it's important. So, stir every bit of this up together. Put it on the stove warmer on medium and let it cook for at least 2 hours. It needs to, all those flavors to meld together for the perfect sauce. So let's get this going and we'll be back in a minute. We are fixing to make the cheese that goes in the lasagna. I usually, when I vamp it up these days, for my family, I use like the mixture of ricotta and cottage cheese. But back in the day when I was a single mom, I couldn't afford that, so I made do with what I had. So here is a little 16-ounce container of cottage cheese. I scoop it into a bowl. Now, the reason that I did this is because my kids would not eat cottage cheese. And I had to think of a way so that it was something that they could palate, you know, get down. So I decided that I would start mixing Parmesan and the ricotta later on in years, but Parmesan back then, because they loved Parmesan cheese. I mean, wanted to eat it on everything. Okay. And yes, I'm just using the good old grated Parmesan and Romano, not the fresh, because this is what I keep in the refrigerator. So everything that I'm doing right now is what I already have available. So I don't have to go out and shop. I'm one of those people, when I run out of Parmesan, it goes on the grocery list, and that's what I restock on. Okay, 1 cup to 16 ounces of cottage cheese. 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Just because I think it makes it look prettier, parsley, heaping teaspoon, just like that. Excuse me, my allergies are really acting up. Here in Alabama, we just went straight from 90-something degree weather summertime to 30 degrees weather overnight, practically. And that's how we are in Alabama. Alright. A teaspoon of garlic powder. That is pretty much it. I stir it up. put it in the refrigerator until I'm ready to build my lasagna. And let me tell you, this is simple, but it's delicious. It is absolutely delicious. And it doesn't cost a fortune to make. Now, of course, you know, my vamped up version, I put sausage in it. My daughter wants a little pepperoni and, you know. I can do that now. I'm a little bit more comfortable money-wise, but back then, you know, there was weeks I had $20 to feed all three of us. Me, my son, and my daughter. And that's when I started experimenting with some of these foods to see what I could do to make them edible, more edible, where the kids really enjoyed coming home and getting to eat instead of going, oh, not again, you know. Like my daughter used to say, oh, country food again? Country food was beans and cornbread. We ate a lot of that. So let me put this in the refrigerator and check on my sauce. Next, we're going to be boiling some lasagna noodles. Now let's get these noodles going. Okay. Alright, let's get these noodles going. I'm going to drizzle a little olive oil and some water. This big stock pot I have. I'm doing 3 layers. Add some salt. Gotta flavor those noodles. Now, going through my pantry, I had regular noodles and I had 3 whole grain noodles. I'm using all of them because I'm trying to clean out my pantry and get ready for this upcoming season of when I do more canning and stuff. So during the winter months I like to clean everything out and get it eaten, and then the next year I can add more to it. So I'm going to start this water on high. Once it reaches a boil, then I will add my noodles. And we'll be back. Okay, everybody, lasagna noodles are done. They're not completely done. They're very al dente. You just want them pliable so that it's easier to put your lasagna together. Now, I've sprayed this Pyrex pan out with some good non-stick spray. Then I come in and then I layer my noodles right next to each other. Now, let me push this back so you can see better. You see, just like that. Then I come and I start putting my cottage cheese, Parmesan cheese combination together. Kind of like, use your finger, mash it down. You don't want big clumps of it. Just enough that you know you can taste it. But you don't want it taken away from the meat sauce because that is the important part. Once you get this all in here and layered real nice, I'll just do the first layer, and then that way you can see how it goes together. It works best like this. Believe me, I made this for many, many years. And be generous with it, because you're going to have 3 layers. You don't want a bunch left over. Okay. Now, see how thick my sauce is? That's how you want it. That consistency. You do not want this getting wet and sloppy when you're trying to put it into somebody's plate. You want it to cut nicely. And the only way that's going to happen is if your sauce is thick enough to handle it. Let's see. I have a spatula here that I can smooth this out better. Because actually, food is like a piece of art. You eat with your eyes first. Okay. And then we come back and very generously put mozzarella. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. I wish the kids were here. They always loved it. Okay. So that's layer 1. You continue the same thing with layer 2 and layer 3. And after I get it finished, I'll tell you how to get it prepared and in the oven. Lasagna is done, ready to go in the oven. 350 for 1 hour and 20 minutes. It might get done sooner, it depends on your oven. But with mine, usually between an hour and 20 minutes. We are going to make some garlic bread to go with this, and just a simple cucumber salad with ranch dressing. That's it. And we're talking pennies on the dollar. When my kids were small, I could cut this up, get 10 pieces out of it. We could eat for 5 days. No lie. So, let's get this in the oven. We'll be back as soon as it's done. 1 hour exactly for my oven. Look at this beautiful piece of art. It is going to be so scrumptious. So, you let it cool about 30 minutes. Next time we come back, we'll have the cucumber salad ready. It plated up in our delicious garlic bread. It is done. I let this sauce cook for right at 3 hours today. Those flavors just meld together and it turns out perfect every time. Cucumber, nothing but cut up cucumber and some ranch on it. These little cuties right here that we have turned into garlic bread are little slider buns that my place of employment uses. They're called Two Chicks, and they are a food truck and cafe in Hazel Green, Alabama, and I am their prep chef. And they graciously give me these stale buns that I can bring home and utilize. I can feed my chickens with them. I turn them into croutons. And tonight, garlic bread. Can't get any better than that. Look at this beautiful lasagna. You cannot get any better than that. It's perfect. Cheese all the way through it. Wonderful sauce. Put a little Parmesan cheese on top. You are good to go. Your family will love this, and it doesn't take hardly anything to make a meal like this to feed a family several nights in a row. So, and this is a huge piece too. Now you put a big salad next to it. Come on, you can eat on that for 3, 4, 5 days. But I am Lisa Stillwell Rogers. I am the owner of Simply Southern Recipes by Rocket City Girls, and I would love for you to come back, visit us again, subscribe, like us, and share us with your friends and family. And I hope to bring you another great idea for a budget-friendly meal for a family very soon. See ya!